What is up, everyone? My name is Andrew. If you don't know me, you should subscribe because, like, why not? But anyway, I am very excited to be filming this video. It has been a while since I filmed. Also, my dog is being bad and he won't stop barking unless I hold him, so that's why he's here. So as you can see from the title, today I'm going to be doing my 1,000 subscriber Q&A, which is very exciting. I've been wanting to film this for a long time and I got quite a few questions. But first, I just want to say thank you to everybody who has subscribed to me recently. Over the past few weeks, I have gained a lot of new subscribers, and hello, welcome to my channel. This is a very chaotic, messy, random channel, but like, those are the best channels, if I do say so myself. And also, I just want to say sorry for not posting. I felt like I wanted to give time for all of the Black booktubers and Black community to speak and amplify their voices without me putting any content out, because as you all know, everything going on with the Black Lives Matter movement, everything going on basically since George Floyd's death kicked it off. Of course, that wasn't the first thing. Everything going on with the Black Lives Matter movement has been an ongoing thing for a long time. All of this attention that it's getting, all of the petitions and the protests have been well warranted for a long time. Like, now it's just blown up. And it's a good thing. It's just crazy how many chances this has had to become something, to become a giant movement, and now it's barely kicking off. But I mean it's something that needs to be done. It's something that America needs to see fundamental change. That's what I believe, and I'm gonna leave some links to petitions and resources and places you can donate. It's like this one big link to like all of those things. It's a really useful I don't even know what it is. It's a useful website that I've seen going around that I first saw on Twitter. So I've been reposting that because I think it's very helpful to find all your resources and links and everything. So I will leave that in the description down below, and definitely check that out. Also, I know there's been a couple of booktubers who have put out videos speaking about being Black in the booktube community, and they're great videos. I think you should definitely go check them out and watch them. I will link a couple that I've been watching down below. And I encourage and I urge you to go watch them also. So aside from that, recently in my life, I had somebody in my family pass away who was my uncle. It was very unexpected and sudden, and I've never lost anybody close to me until like last week, or a little over a week ago, and it was just that pain on top of seeing everything going on in the media and seeing all of the things posted, just like that pain was just so emotional. Like, last week was so bad. It was just high on my emotions, and it was a lot, and I could barely be on Twitter. I could barely even be on social media. And after we found out that my uncle passed away, I was busy helping my family plan the rosary, plan the funeral, but it was just so many things at once, and so many, highly important and emotional things going on in my life, and it was a lot. But I am very happy to everybody who is still here, to everybody who has subscribed, to all of my new subscribers, and I'm just hoping that I can put some positivity out, hoping that my video can be something that makes people smile or whatever, I don't know. Just hang out with me for a little bit, I guess is what I'm saying, is what we're gonna do today. So let me just get started with these questions, because I got quite a few questions, and I have them all here on my iPad, which I just got my iPad from my friend Kindle, who sold it to me for $30. We love Kindle in this house. We love her. Like, that is a deal. I love that. Anyway, I put it on Instagram and Twitter that I was going to do this Q&A, so I got a few questions on Instagram, so I'll go through those really quick. This first one is from my friend. Her Instagram name is _Lady Artemis, and she said, how old were you when you first got into books? Probably like 2. Like, I know I had like the little kid baby books and I was reading, but when I really got into books was probably like 3rd grade, because I remember, okay, bye Ollie. I remember I always wanted the most AR points in my elementary school. Like, I wanted to be the #1 AR point holder, and I usually was, I think, I don't really remember, but I used to get a lot of AR points, and I loved doing that, so probably like 8, maybe 2, I don't know. Next is from my friend Gabby, who is at Permanently Booked on Instagram and I think Twitter, I don't know. And she said, which book world would you travel to for a day? Love you and congrats. Gabby, I love you, thank you, you already know that, but I would probably want to go to, I think I would want to just be able to be a shadow hunter and like see the world from like the Shadowhunter eyes and not with like mundane glamours. I'd probably want to be able to see like demons and like everything that you can't see to like the normal eye. I think that'd be really cool, and like any universe where Jem Carstairs is alive is a place I want to be. So probably the Shadowhunter world, if that makes sense. Then the next question is, what book got you into reading? And I would probably say when I was little, I mean, I used to read like Junie B. Jones, and I would like read the heck out of them. Like I read all of them. And of course then I read Harry Potter. Like, who didn't get into Harry Potter when they were little? We're not going to talk about Miss J.K. Rowling right now because we don't stand her in this house. That's all I'm going to say. But obviously I was in love with Harry Potter, and I read those when I was in like, I mean, as soon as the books came out and I was old enough to read them, I started them, loved them. Also, I don't know, I feel like I was really into the dystopian dystopian era. Oh my god. So like the Hunger Games. Is that all I read? No. So like when the Hunger Games came out, I got really into reading and wanted to read like anything dystopian. So probably the Hunger Games is a big one too. And then my friend Haley said, she said two things. She said, not a question, but you're beautiful, talented, amazing, never been done before. Haley, I love you so much. Like, you don't even know. Like, I freaking love her. Anyway, her name is like Hayden Books on Instagram and Twitter and stuff, so check her out. But she also said, what's your favorite trope? And I'm not sure if this is a trope or like what, but I love whenever there's like a love interest and the main character is getting tortured and their love interest has to watch but can't help them. I sound crazy, but I love that. Like, I eat that up. I love when that happens in books. I love when somebody's getting tortured and their love interest just can't help, because I just know that it hurts them so much to see their loved one in pain, and I'm just like, I'm here for it. Like, I love to see it. Then Vale Reads asked, what's one thing BookTube has taught you so far? Definitely something I didn't understand in BookTube before I was on it, is that the real, like, treasure, the real reward of being on BookTube is that you can make some really cool friends. Like, I have made some really great friends who I can just talk to about books that I didn't have in my real life, because I don't have a lot of friends who actually read that I could go hang out with, like, in my town. Like, I don't know anybody in my town really that likes to read as much as me. So being able to connect with all of these readers who like read the same books as you and feel the same way you do is like the best thing. And so I think when I started BookTube, I really thought that, oh, like, I'm just gonna be kind of alone and just like talking about my books, and nobody's really gonna subscribe, nobody's gonna see it. But then it taught me that you can make genuine friends, and that there are such good people out there to like make friends with that I didn't know and that I wouldn't have known without BookTube. So yeah. Then my friend Gabby said, what is your fave snow cone? Real funny, Gabby, because she knows I don't like snow cones, but if I had to pick, it would be green apple, because that's a good snow cone. That's like the only acceptable snow cone. I know I'm weird because I don't like snow cones, but I'm sorry. That's just something about me. Now I'm gonna go to Twitter and go to the rest of the questions. So the first question on here is from my friend Lisa, who is Lisa Marie Reads. And she said, favorite Shadowhunter character that is not Jem Carstairs. Lisa, why are you gonna do me like that? You know I love Jem. If it wasn't Jem, I've thought about this. If I have to take Jem out of the equation, then it's definitely Julian Blackthorne. I love me some morally gray characters, and Julian is definitely that bad boy morally gray character. So he is like my favorite Shadowhunter besides Jem. She also said a popular book / series you love but a lot of people hate. Probably Shadowhunters. Like, it's such a like balance. Like, a lot of people hate the Shadowhunter world, a lot of people hate Cassandra Clare's writing and her stories and her characters, but a lot of people love it. And so I think I am definitely on the side of people who love it, and that's just how I am. I don't know. She also said favorite Taylor Swift album. I have never been asked this question. I've never really had to like think about it, but I think my favorite, I mean, I know all the songs from all of them, but I really love Red. Like, I just have a connection with it. I just really love it. And I also love Speak Now. I'm very an old like Taylor Swift kind of girl. Like, I love her old songs. Her new stuff is really good too. Like Reputation, so good. That's probably like my number 3. But yeah, so Speak Now or Red. I love those. So the next one is from Salome. She said, what's a book you wish was adapted into a movie/TV show? I would love to see The Cruel Prince by Holly Black, like that whole series as a movie. It would just be so amazing to see Cardan and Jude, and like, oh my gosh, imagine seeing Jude like holding a knife to Cardan and having actors be like embodying that like on screen. That would be so great, but I just know that it would never come out good, so I don't want that to happen. But like, if somebody could do it right and like have like really precautious care, that would be iconic. Salam also asked, do you like reading/writing with music on? No, I don't like to read or write with music on. I cannot focus. I have to have no sound. Like, I don't want anybody talking, no TV, no music, nothing. I need silence. And then she said, what's an author you want to meet? I've met quite a few of my favorite authors. So I've met Cassandra Clare, Leigh Bardugo, and Holly Black, which are like pretty much my favorites. I really want to meet Jay Kristoff because I feel like he would be just a cool dude because he's like just really chill. But I also know he's very problematic, so I don't know if I really want to meet him. But I love Mia Corbier and I love Nevernight so much, so I just feel like it would just mean something if I got to meet him. But the number 1 author that I want to meet is Alexandra Bracken, who wrote The Darkest Minds. I have been wanting to meet her for so long, and it's like honestly devastating that I haven't met her yet because I really want to, and it just like has always fell through. Like the day that she was in Texas, I couldn't go, and then she couldn't come back this year for anything because of, you know, COVID and everything. So I really want to meet her so bad. Like Alexandra Bracken is really high up on my list of people to meet. So Haley asked me some questions on Twitter also. I'll go through these really quick. What's your favorite series of all time? I don't know. I have so many favorite series. I'll just tell you one of them for now, which is Six of Crows, because I know Haley loves Six of Crows, so I'm gonna say Six of Crows. Then, what's your favorite genre to read and write? Definitely fantasy, young adult, or like dark heavy fantasy is what I like. And then she said, can you tell us about your work in progress? So my work in progress, there's another question about this and I'll just answer it now. So the premise of my story is that there's this girl whose father got murdered right before her eyes, right? And so she is very angry. She wants her revenge. And so the only person that she finds that can help her figure out who killed her father is unknowingly somebody who was involved in the murder, and he's also her love interest. So this girl is in for a rude awakening when she realizes and puts all the clues together that, you know, this guy she's falling in love with is actually the person she's been hunting down and wanting to kill for murdering her own father. And that's just a very general, like, short synopsis of my story, but that's generally what it's about. Nicole from Half Wild Books said, what book made you a bookworm? Like I said, probably Harry Potter or The Hunger Games or Twilight. Those were all very pivotal books in my like reading career for me. And then Nicole said, if you could rewrite the ending of any book, what would it be? I think I would rewrite Dark Dawn by Jay Kristoff because I don't like the way it ended. I feel like it was a very anticlimactic ending and I don't like who Mia ended up with. So I changed a lot about that, but I still loved it. But you know, there was room for improvement, if I do say so myself. I don't know. Then the next question is, what is a movie you can watch over and over? Oddly enough, I really love Armageddon. Like, I can rewatch that movie any time of the day. Also, this very like kind of old movie called Detention. It has the guy who played Peeta in Hunger Games, Josh Hutcherson, and it's just a really stupid movie. You should check it out if you want to like watch a dumb comedy horror kind of film. But yeah, those two, I just watch them like a lot. And then also, if you could only eat one meal/food item 3 times a day for an entire week, which would you choose? I would just eat mashed potatoes. Like, I love mashed potatoes so much. Like, they can be just plain mashed potatoes or they can have like bacon and cheese in them, and it's just really good. I just love them. So Connor, who is BookTube Connor, asked, how would you feel if they remade the Harry Potter movies in the next 10 years? Ignore J.K. Rowling stuff. So putting aside the problematic Miss JK, if they remade the Harry Potter movies, I'm a big Potterhead, and I could make a whole video like explaining how I'm feeling about everything going on, how messed up JK Rowling is, but I'm not gonna go into all that. So I would feel hesitant. I would be like, I don't know if anybody could pull it off, just because I don't think that they could find a better Harry than Daniel Radcliffe. Like, Daniel Radcliffe is the perfect Harry. He is such a good Harry that I would probably never like it more than the original movies, but I'd watch it. Like, I'd love to see it and see somebody else give it a shot and see them bring the Wizarding World to life in a new way. So yeah. Then my friend Armin said, favorite dog breed has to be a toy poodle, because I have a toy poodle and that's the only dog I've ever had, so I am biased. I do have favorites, and that's toy poodles. Favorite underrated book? I think a book that is underrated is A Very Large Expanse of Sea by Taheda Mafi. That book is so good. Like, I freaking love that book. It delivers, and nobody is ever talking about it. Like, people read it, but I don't think anybody goes on about it as much as I do, and I freaking love it, so people need to read it. Also, Dear Martin by Nick Stone. People are starting to read it now because of all the stuff going on, but that is a good book. Like, it's short, it's an easy read, and it's so important, and it's so good, and like, I don't ever see anybody talking about it on BookTube, so it's a really good book to read, especially now with all these protests and everything happening, and like all the police brutality coming to light and everything. So Dear Martin is so good. If you haven't read it, I definitely suggest reading it. It's really good. And then she also asked least favorite overrated book. So recently, I just keep seeing so much about One of Us is Lying by Karen McManus, and it's very overrated. Like, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm not a mystery kind of person or a thriller kind of person, but that book is not that good. Like, it was just very basic and there's like nothing to it, and everybody's been talking about it like it's the best thing ever, and I'm just like, like not that good, but it's like okay, but it's not that good. I don't know. I'm sorry if you love that book. I don't know, it's just me, just my brain. Okay, then Charlotte asked, what was the main thing you wanted to get out of BookTube when you started, and has that changed? I kind of touched on this earlier, but the main thing I wanted out of BookTube was a place to let out all my feelings about books that I couldn't just say to everybody in my life because nobody cared. And I definitely do think I get to do that. Like, every time I make a video, it's something that I love to talk about, something that I want to talk about and express, but it also has changed a bit, because now my goals on BookTube are more of just like using my channel to like connect with other readers and to actually have like friendships with people and just, you know, have a community. I didn't know that BookTube was such a community, or that it could be such a community. And of course there's problems in every community, and BookTube has a lot of problems, but now I just feel like it can be a great place and it's just fun. And yeah, so I don't know if that answered the question. I hope it did. So then Leah asked, what popular book or series will you never read? I don't think I'm ever gonna read the sequel to Girls of Paper and Fire, which is like Girls of Storm and Shadow or something like that. I just didn't like Girls of Paper and Fire that much. It just wasn't for me, so I'll probably never read that. And then she also said, the worst book you've ever read. The worst book I've ever read is probably the book I'm reading now, which is Beauty and the Ashes by Michaela Smeltzer, or Again But Better, I'm sorry, by you know who, or honestly Glass Sword by Victoria Aveyard. It's the second book in the Red Queen series. That book was so bad. Like, it was just so bad. I just hated it. I just remember hating it so much. I didn't even want to continue with the series, but I did, and it was just the worst out of the series. I was right. I knew it was gonna be, like, it was so bad. And she said, what's your book about? And I answered that already, so yeah. Then Layla, who is reading with the balls, asked, what's your favorite and worst book of last year? My favorite book I read last year was probably Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. I know it didn't come out last year, obviously, but it's the first time I'd ever read it, and it was just so good, and it's like stuck with me. I read a lot of classic like YA fantasies that I had never read before, like Six of Crows. I read a lot of Cassandra Clare. I got into Sarah J Maas, and I love Throne of Glass now, so I read a lot of good things, but like if I had to choose like a favorite, probably Little Women, because I really loved that story more than I thought I would. And then my worst book of last year was probably Wayward Son, which is a sequel to Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. Mostly because it was a letdown. Like, it wasn't the sequel that I was expecting, and a lot of people had that problem. A lot of people felt the same way, and I kind of want to reread it because my views might have changed, but it was just a big letdown. And then finally, BookTube Goddess asked, what books are you looking forward to in the upcoming year? For this, I actually want to go to my Amazon wish list and like tell you guys what books I have on my pre-order list because there's so many coming out. Like, I cannot wait for them. So let me go to that. So these are the books coming out this year that I really want to read. So The Lost Book of the WIP by Cassandra Clare, Midnight Sun by Stephanie Meyer, How the King of Elfhame Learned to Hate Stories by Holly Black, Forest of Souls by Lori M. Lee. I'm so excited. I have that one pre-ordered. I'm just like cannot wait for that one. The Friend Scheme by Kel Dietrich. The cover of that one is so gorgeous. I'll put the covers on the screen so you can see them, but that one, so pretty. I cannot wait for that one. Dear Justice by Nick Stone, The Princess Will Save You by Sarah Henning, Cemetery Boys by Aidan Thomas, also a gorgeous cover. I cannot wait for that one. And then Blood and Honey by Shelby Mahurin. I cannot wait for that sequel. I like Serpent and Dove. I know a lot of people didn't, but I did, and I can't wait for the sequel. I miss Reed and Lou so much. I think that's all. Oh, and then I have Concrete Rose by Angie Thomas on here, which is gonna blow me away. It's not coming out till next year though, so I'm gonna wait on that one. And then the fourth ACOTAR book by Sarah J. Maas, but that's next year. But those are all ones that I cannot wait for, and I am so excited for these upcoming this year. Like, I cannot wait. That's all the questions I had. Thank you so much if you asked me a question. Thank you so much if you watched this entire video. Thank you for subscribing, and yeah, don't forget I will have all the petitions and donation places and resources linked down below, and some other of my favorite Black booktubers who have put out videos on it, saying everything better than I could ever say it, speaking out on things that I don't think I have a right to speak out about. So go check those out, and I hope you are having a good time. Tell your family you love them because it's very important, and you never know when somebody's gonna go. And I'm sorry to get dark and sad, but it's just, life's hard, so let's just enjoy it and try to, you know, make this world better before we leave it. And I don't know why I'm going so philosophical. I never do this, but I got stuff to do. I gotta make a 30-minute drive now to go pick up a book I've been waiting for. So that's all I have to say for this video. I hope you like this video. Hope you like this video down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!